And, you could just give it a prompt, like from the position of a white supremacist, say why all Mexicans should be kicked out of this country.
To create division. To create division,
Yes.
I know, in this country. I know.
Yeah. And so that's a giant percentage of all social media discourse. So I don't necessarily think you should be going back and forth with people. But I think as a source of information and news and alternative perspectives and boots on the ground people, like, hey, I'm reporting live from Gaza. Look what they just did to this aid party.
And it was what we thought was going to happen when the Arab Spring happened, because everybody has a phone, and finally we were able to film these amazing revolutions. But I think that promise has sort of waited a little bit. I have to point out one thing you said, how scams are not as prevalent these days.
I shouldn't have said that. That's not what I meant, really. I meant the government. It's more difficult
for
governments.
From the government.
Online
because
fraud
we're living
is
in
crazy.
We're living in the golden age of scams.
I get 30 texts a day. The dude that owned my phone number before me, this dude Raymond, was a moron.
Right.
And Raymond, you fucking idiot. Did you sign up for everything, bitch? Because this guy, every day, hey, Raymond, your loan's been approved.
So really fun. I'm going to come on your podcast next year once I'm done with this project, but I'm working on a really fun project for National Geographic, which is where I say yes to every single scam that comes my way.
Oh, boy.
I've been filming it for a few months, and it's been the craziest, wildest journey of my life.
Can you tell us?
I can't.
No?
I can't.
Okay.
I just can tell you that I have romantic relationships with people.
Hot damn.
I spend a lot of time on my burner phone with people love bombing me.
Really?
But it's a fake persona. I put a wig and glasses. And
so you use your own picture. You don't even use AI?
No, I don't use AI. We actually sort of modified. We put a fake nose on me and a wig and glasses. But people say it doesn't look at all like me. I can see it's me. But I will talk. It's really fascinating. But also to talk about scams, which I can talk about a lot, is we are living in the golden age of scams. I think it was Warren Buffett that said fraud and scams are the number one growth industry of our time. And one of the stories we did, which is so sad, and I hate to bring it down back to a sad topic, but is that I didn't know this before starting to report on it, which a lot of times you think, these scammers, these guys that are texting and emailing you and calling you, that these are, people in West Africa or, wherever, but like loan operators. Well, we did a story about these scam factories. Have you heard of these?
No.
It's these compounds in places like Cambodia and Myanmar in Asia, where it's basically factories sometimes with thousands and thousands of people, forced labor. So these are mostly people from India, sometimes Brazil, other Asian countries. The Philippines is a big place where they respond to ads to work in what they think are legitimate businesses, to work in online companies and whatnot. And they pay for their expenses to travel to these places, to Cambodia and Myanmar. In Myanmar, they're operating out of this area that's an ongoing civil war and is ruled by these militias. And they get in there, and as soon as they get in, they take away their passports, and they're trapped, and they're forced to scam. So they spend 24/7 scamming Americans and European people.
Wow.
And it is an industry where they're making billions of dollars. The U.S. government just recently seized $15 billion from one company, from one group of people alone in crypto. Whoa. It's the craziest thing. So these people are being tortured and beaten, sometimes killed, and forced to scam. So we went actually to Myanmar. We were smuggled into the border, into Myanmar, into the country illegally.
Whoa.
Across the river, and spent time in this town that was basically built by this Chinese gang that was all with the money of scamming Americans. And they were trying to build like a mini Macau. And the guy that ran the company is called Yatai International, and he took us on a tour of this mini Macau. And it was so surreal. It was like these aqua parks with no one in the aqua park and these luxury casinos. We ended the night, it was so crazy. This guy said he would give us an interview, but first we had to do the tour. And the interview would happen the next day. So we ended a night, this was actually not filmed, in a karaoke. That was a massive room where every wall and the ceiling was all a screen. It was like the future. And this is in a war-torn area of a country that's incredibly poor, and they've built this place with millions and billions of dollars from profits of scamming. Wow. And we ended the night with this guy who's basically the head of this criminal Chinese gang running these scams, in this karaoke singing Celine Dion and Whitney Houston and being poured whiskey and whatever high-end brand we wanted.
You were getting drunk with him?
Oh, my God, yes. I was singing my heart out. I spent the whole night singing Whitney Houston. The videos are so embarrassing because I cannot sing to save my life. But I was like, we need to get this guy on tape, so I'm just going to do whatever.
Wow.
And then the next day we interviewed him, and it was just fucking crazy. And we ended our last day. I mean, we interviewed a Chinese dude, so sad, like 21-year-old, who was caught trying to escape and was chased out of the building. He ran out of a third floor, broke both his legs, one at the hip, practically died, was actually saved by an onlooker who took him to the hospital and then moved to Thailand where I met him. He was in a wheelchair. Told us about beatings. We spoke to another Indian kid also who was, they had a water hose on his body. He was forced to stand for 24 hours and then electrocuted. And I mean, the videos out of these places were insane. Like people with horrific wounds and people dying and killed. And just forced
to
scam, forced to fucking scam.
Into scamming.
Yeah, forced into scamming. And then we interviewed a girl called Angel who was raped repeatedly by her bosses, and she's sort of the face model. So a lot of times after speaking to these, what they think are romantic relationships for a long time, they want to see people's faces. So this is the girl that then they put a fake AI face on top of her, but it has to be a girl because of the mannerisms and the voice. And they have this girl who actually speaks English. And she would talk to victims of scams and pretend that she was the wonderful woman that they'd been dating for months, and convince them to put their money into this crypto business that was fake, and take millions out of these victims. So this woman starts crying and telling me how she knows she's doing something awful, and how she's raped and how she doesn't want to be doing. And at the end, she says, I said yes to doing this, even though it's incredibly dangerous. But I accepted doing this because I just want a message for the victims in America, the people that I've spoken to, that I'm sorry. I just want to apologize for all the harm that I've caused. And she's like in tears, but I have no way out. I mean, these are heart-wrenching stories. And the last day we were there, we were able to... there's this amazing organization called Acts of Mercy, religious-based organization that is working to try to get these people out. And a lot of these bosses actually, if you can pay for ransom, you can pay $10,000 to save a person from there. So because if you're a bad scammer, if you're there and you're horrible and if you're sad and depressed and you're not doing your job, it's better for these bosses if you just get paid $10,000 to let this person go. So there was this case of the Filipino woman who the boss had agreed to a $12,000 payment to release her. But it's really dangerous there's this negotiator that goes and sort of tries to get her out of this compound. But he has to come with the money and he has to be able to pay the crime boss, but he also has to pay the militias to get him in. So it was like a whole process. And we were with this group, Acts of Mercy and another guy, filming them as they're on the phone negotiating her release. And they're on the phone with her. She's inside the scam center. And she's like, where do I go? This scam center is massive. She had no idea where to go. And they're saying, go to the west gate. And the guy is there waiting for you. She's like, I don't know where to go. And she's crying. If they see me with the phone, because it's a confiscated phone, they're going to beat me and they're going to put me in the dark room where I'm beaten and, tortured for days. And Amy, the woman on this side, is telling her, believe us. There's somebody waiting for you. Do not be afraid. Bring your phone. We need to be telling you how to get there. It was his whole ordeal. It was like fucking insane. It was out of a movie.